Hi, everybody. So it's the end of May, and I like to do these performance videos where I share with you guys how I've done in my stock portfolio and how my account is doing so far. Year to date, I'm sitting around 30.4%. Um, and it's been a good year for me. It hasn't been a good year for the markets. The markets have done around 0.5% for the Nasdaq, for the S&P 500, and 1.9% for the Nasdaq. I'm sitting around 30%. I want to show you guys how I've done this in this video and how I've managed to outperform the markets in a very, very difficult situation full of variables, full of different news events, tariffs, geopolitical problems, fundamental issues, etc., etc. I want to show you guys what I've achieved so far, and hopefully we can do one every month until the end of the year, so you can see how I continue to build my account month in, month out. I'm sitting around 30%. That's around 6% a month. So if we extend that to the whole year, 6% every month is around 100% at the end of the year. Obviously, I need the right circumstances to be there. I also need to be picking the right opportunities moving forward. But the first 5 months, it has been difficult, but it has been very profitable for me. So I'm going to quickly share my screen to show you guys my performance. Right, so here you can see my monthly performance. You have January around 3%, 2.2% in Feb. Really difficult months for me, those 2 months. And I think the whole market was a bit flat. And it was expected. There were many fake breakouts above 6,000. There was some shorting opportunities as well. And it was a bit of a mixed bag. End of Feb until the end of March, there was a big sell-off. I also was caught in this initially with my 15, 20 stocks I had in my portfolio. And then I tried to trade a few times long, counter trend essentially, and got caught out. So that was the reason why March was a bad month. But as you can see here, not only am I performing better every month on these during these other months, I'm losing. I'm not losing as much as the Nasdaq or the S&P 500. Beginning of April was a big moment for the markets. There was a kind of a bottom created around S&P 500, and that was a good opportunity to start buying. I bought some. I did sell my positions quite early here, especially leaders like Palantir, MicroStrategy, Hood, etc., etc. I sold many of these quite early, and I've had to reposition myself around late April, and then May was where I made the large majority of my profits, with 25% of the 30% coming in May. And I'll explain to you why that is. There was themes that were going on in the markets, and that's where I've been able to generate a large chunk of my profits. Here, the growth curve. As you can see, there was a slight dip in March of 0.17%. My account hasn't gone below that, while the S&P and the Nasdaq were around -5 or -4.5 and -8. So again, with the maximum drawdown, I've been able to control the losses in my account very well this year. And this is part of my strategy, to be honest, to control losses and be very, very tight on stop losses. And then we've seen that exponential growth here in April and March, with the market doing really, really well in those 2 months. I've been able to ride some big winners and select some really, really good stocks. So that's my general performance. Now I want to go into why I performed well and how I've tried to maneuver within these months. Here we have the S&P 500 As you can see from from January, we've seen a constant move up and down, up and down. This was a period of early January where I made some profits here. I was able to find some nice French stocks, which you're going to see in a bit, which helped me. And I was able to also trade a little bit moving up, going into Feb, where there was a significant resistance here. And also, usually the big sell off is in the second half of Feb. And that's what we experienced. We experienced that sell off. We've had the initial sell off. I lost a bit of money on this mini rally here, or reversion to the mean, thinking that potentially we've had a bottom and we're going to go back to 6,000. And then I waited it out until the beginning of April, where the market was very, very oversold here, and it was almost inevitable that it had to move upwards. Now, how much I wasn't really able to predict, because if we see here, it's been from the bottom until now, it's moved around 22%, highs 25%. That's quite a lot, and I was able to trade this initial move, and then this extension here was where I made the large majority of my profits end of April to mid May. So with that in mind, I kind of want to go into some of the stocks I've traded. You can see some of them here, because at the moment, by the way, I am 100% cash. I sold everything. I locked in all the profits. I was sitting at around 37% at the beginning of the day, but with this sell-off in the markets, went down to around 30%. So I do go in quite heavy. I do go in 100%, maybe even use a bit of margin, but very, very small amounts of margin. But I'm typically invested 100% in the markets when things are going well. So in terms of my portfolio movers and my best performers, I want to go into this part of my Interactive Brokers account, where we'll see my best performers and my biggest losers. Okay, so we'll focus on the left-hand side first. We'll focus on my top performers for the period. So for the first 5 months, as you can see here, my best performing trade or asset is British pounds, holding pounds while the dollar was going down. The dollar was going down, and I think it went down dropped around 10%. So we managed to make around 7.3% there as we were holding pounds. I also converted my euros and Canadian dollars, my Japanese yen, everything that I had in my account, I converted it into pounds with the idea that I was able to convert it back into dollars once I trade stocks. But I would be able to make some money and generate some profits holding pounds, and that was around 7.3% there. Now, the other two big trades have been Robinhood and IonQ. IonQ is on theme here. You'll be able to see IonQ, QUBT. We also have QSI. These ones have performed really well for me. These are in the quantum computing theme. It was also a very good theme for me close to the end of last year, fourth quarter and third quarter of last year. Quantum computing did really, really well for me with QBTS. So I've been able to trade these again. You also see some tech stocks like Robinhood, recovery stocks basically. Robinhood, Twilio was around Feb. We did really well with this one. Alibaba was a Chinese play that I had. Tesla, again, tech revival. Pharmaceuticals here during the drop. Semiconductors. RKLB has also done really well for me, and then two French stocks. But overall, we've been playing tech stocks primarily, with some moments of trading and investing in the Asian market and also the French market, the European market. Okay, so really, really good. As you can see here, if I'm risking 1%, I've made 2% here. So 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 6. Getting these really, really nice ratios here. Although these are percentages, I usually risk around 1 to 2% per trade. In terms of the losing side, I focus on controlling Lucids, Polestar, Neo. There's a theme here. They've been losers for me because EVs haven't done that well. Tesla's been done pretty well, but other EV plays, which I thought were undervalued and were potentially going to move up with some momentum and showed some signs. Okay, one or two times. That's the reason why I have here 2% minus. It's not like I've traded one time Lucid and one time Neo. I've traded them actually 2 to 3 times, and I've been able to manage the losses, but still accumulate around 2% per EV play, basically. Energy here is a big one as well. Oxy, uranium play here, CCJ, around 1.8, 2.5 here with Oxy. 2 losses, I think, with Oxy. That's the reason why swing trades weren't working, which is one of those things. And then we have Rich Tech Robotics. Trade about 3 times this one. And then the US dollar. Holding the dollar was a bad move for some periods of this year. Overall, it's been a nice control in a year that's been very, very volatile. And for me, this part of my Interactive Brokers account shows you clearly why I am profitable, because I have these big winners here on the distribution scale. They're the big winners. Then we have these kind of like average winners, these 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s. And then when I'm losing, I'm not losing much. So I'm losing 1 to 1, even less than that. And then some 2% is here because I've taken multiple trades trying to reposition myself into these stocks that just weren't working for me during the early months of the year. And these big ones, by the way, have all been in January to March. These big ones. All these other ones, the smaller ones, have been basically since March. These other ones here. That's it. Kind of want to keep the videos short. I've done other videos. I've explained in my other videos my performance on a weekly basis and what I'm looking to invest in. I will be doing another video in a few days explaining what I'm looking to buy now that I'm 100% cash. So yeah, I suggest you guys go and follow me. You can go and follow me on YouTube, Instagram. All the links will be underneath in the bio and the description. You'll be able to also be a part of my Telegram group. I have a Telegram group which is completely free for you guys to join. This is where I share my ideas for free. And I also have a Discord, but the Discord is invite only. So if you want to become part of the Discord, you should go to my Telegram. The link is in my bio of this video. And then you should write to me in the Telegram requesting to join the Discord. That's it for me. I hope it's been informative. It's just a general summary of my performance. I will be informing you every single month as to what I'm buying and how my portfolio is doing. Take care. Until next time.